We are at Wings Etc. in Cape Girardeau. We'll be here back-to-back weeks for the Redhawks Coaches Show. Welcome in. We'll be talking it over with Redhawks football coach Tom Tuke. Coach Tuke is here. Slade Dollar, the most veteran linebacker on the Redhawks roster, had a big day on Saturday in the win over Tennessee State. We'll talk to Slade Dollar. John Klein, the Redhawks first-year soccer coach, is here, and we'll get a chance to catch up with him as his team just had a two-match winning streak snapped on Sunday against first-place Eastern Illinois. We'll catch up with John Klein. Got his first Division I win, but, man, he's been around the game of soccer a long time, so we will check in with him. And we want to remind you that in addition to their award-winning, and I do mean award-winning, jumbo wings here at Wings Etc., they also have a full menu, and that includes their terrific burger menu. I mean, we're talking 9-10 different types of burgers that you can get here at Wings Etc. They have wraps, subs, quesadillas. If you'd like an entree salad, they've got their big grilled or crispy chicken salad. If you're into the appetizers, their appetizer lineup includes their massive ultimate nachos. They have spicy deep fried pickle chips and their delicious pretzel bites. It is all here at the home of the Redhawks Coaches Show. Wings Etc. Good food, great times, and make sure you download that Wings Etc. loyalty app. You get points for all of your orders. You can get it delivered if you would like to have their delicious menu delivered to wherever you are. You can do it through the Wings Etc. loyalty app. It's a free download from your app store. Let's welcome in the Redhawks head football coach Tom Tuke, picking up your first conference victory. And I would say one of the overwhelming themes to the game was, okay, you got a freshman quarterback out there. How's he going to look? I thought he looked pretty good. 283 passing yards, a couple of touchdowns. Didn't look like he was overwhelmed on Saturday, Coach.
I agree. Yeah, I think he performed well. We're very happy with how he prepared and how he played. I think a lot of other guys also picked it up. To me, the overarching theme of that game is just how we responded. You know, how are we going to respond to being 1-4? How are we going to respond to these injuries? You know, Johnny goes out, third play of the game, fumbles it. How's he going to respond to that? Then the next drive, you know, he goes down and throws a nice touchdown pass. I just think that's that resilient aspect of our team. And so lots of progress made. On defense, I really feel like we've kind of we tweaked some stuff going into UT Martin, and I think we're kind of finding our way there a little bit. Playing a lot more physical and aggressive and stuff, and obviously with Slade making a lot of plays out there the last two games.
He almost had 2 interceptions in the game.
Yeah. I think
we got to ask him about that one. It was low. So, you know, he got his hands on it.
I think he was looking at the touchdown, the end zone when he's there. But we were very disruptive and things like that. So that was great to see.
And I would say one of the leaders on the defensive side of the ball, man, Stephen Lewis, was all over the place, man. He was like a man possessed in that game. Even broke out a nice little sack dance. I'm not sure I've seen the Stephen Lewis sack dance before.
Yeah, we're worried about his hip flexor, and based on his, I don't know what are those called, like hip gyrations, or what are those called nowadays?
I guess that's what you can call it.
I'd say he's fully healed because he was going all the way in on a lot of those, so it was pretty impressive. We really talked a lot about seniors going out playing their best ball, and Stephen Lewis was a guy that's, you know, been banged up, been here a lot of his buddies left, but he wanted to play another year because he didn't feel like he had a great year last year, and so he wanted to come back and leave the game playing his best football, and man, it's great to see him make all those plays.
Boy, so with Johnny Weber, not sure what you're going to get. You may think you know what you're going to get, what you see in practice. Sometimes that does translate to the game field. Sometimes it does not translate. The thing that I thought was impressive, there were several impressive things, but some of your scoring drives, your first scoring drive, 13 plays, 90 yards. You had a 10-play, 99-yard drive, and then after the third quarter was not your friend, you just couldn't get any traction in that third quarter. Then the drive that put the game away early in the fourth, 75 yards, 9 plays. Those are long scoring drives. Yeah,
totally. And so I think that's just the balance. You know, it wasn't like we put 28 up with just some fluke touchdown pass. Like he had to execute a lot of plays, got a run game going, more balanced than we've been, and so that's nice to see, and we definitely need to keep that going.
And Cole Rubel ended up being your leading rusher in the game, 93 yards. Now 35 of that came on the fake punt. Talk about the fake punt. We kind of talked about it before you faked it. We were talking on the broadcast, hey, is this a spot where Coach Tuke may gamble here, and you did, and it was a great play, and those are always momentum shifting type plays.
Yeah, that fake punt's called Billingsley. Does that ring a bell to you?
Billingsley.
Okay, it didn't to me either. You know, I got a bunch of 20-year-old assistants and everything, so.
I know there's a guy named Peter Billingsley that played Ralphie in the movie Christmas Story. When I hear Billingsley, that's about the only thing I got.
This one's about Friday Night Lights, all right? You know that? It's like a high school football movie, and so Billingsley was like the running back for the team or whatever, and so he's the white running back, so that was Cole Rubel's nickname, and so we named it Billingsley. We've been repping it for a little bit. Coach McMillan is our punt coach and did a great job, you know, getting everybody prepared, and they executed. We punted it. They had a penalty 5 yards closer, and then we gambled and end up scoring. So I think that was just a huge play, momentum-wise and everything else.
So it was 4th and 7. Early in the game, they had 3 offsides penalties or in the neutral zone penalties. So what you're saying is 4th and 7, it was a straight punt, and then once they committed the penalty, you switched it up and said, let's go ahead and try it.
Yep, and the guys executed great.
All right, and it looks like Cole Rubel, he got 12 carries in the football game, 93 yards. That's the second highest run total. Brandon Epton had a 94-yard game, so you're getting closer in the run game, and as a team, you run it for 178 yards, and that had to make you happy.
Yeah, very much so, and I think you know, even Johnny being able to, even though he's not going to statistically do anything in the run game, but he was able to do a couple things that's going to make sure that defenses keep him honest a little bit. And so that's also nice to see. Not that he's a dual threat necessarily, but he is an athlete.
And according to that article, the Chicago Tribune wrote about him and his dirt bike prowess when he was a kid. His dad said when he was 3, he gave himself a nickname, Johnny Dirtbike. So we referred to him a little as Johnny Dirtbike. Now, Paxton DeLaura was tuned in. He emailed us on the broadcast. He called him John Boat. We got to figure out which name we're going to go with. But I like Johnny Dirtbike because he gave it to himself when he was 3.
Did not know that. So hopefully he's just a lot more focused on his preparation and let you guys figure out his nickname.
So one thing I did want to ask you about was special teams in the game, because your punter, who is having a good statistical year, Ryan Kingston, I'm sure you had the tallest quarterback punter combination in the country when Jax was in there at 6'8", Kingston 6'6", but it's 5 punts. He had a 54-yard punt. He averaged 45 yards. He dropped 2 inside the 20-yard line. I thought he was a factor in the game.
Yeah, very much so. Just been real consistent. I think we're top 5 in net punt. I think we're like 42 net. And ultimately, that's what you want's the net. When we're done punting, what's that look like? And he's a weapon back there. We're able to move the pocket with him a little bit too, and so really challenging for those punt block units.
And they're not returning his punts.
Yeah. 0 return yards, and I'm proud of our punt team. We faked a punt and netted a bunch.
And it was 2 touchbacks in the game for your kicker, Justin Keller, and 1 return that went 35 yards. But other than that, that was the only really big play on special teams they had. Now they faked the punt and barely got it with their punter. But there were no big 35 yards is a decent return, but there were no breakdowns. It didn't look like on kick coverage.
Yeah, I was disappointed in how we kicked the ball, and missed a field goal, and he wasn't as accurate in his kicks. So he has a kicking ball that he likes to use, and it got stolen by the east end zone.
Really?
So our ball boy didn't get it back to us, so that had him all frazzled.
That's where all the tents are. That's where the Red Hawk fans are.
So we're going to have to get a guy with a stun gun or something, make sure we can get the ball back, because that's kind of like his blankie. Give the guy back his blankie.
You got so many cameras in the house on game day. You'd think somebody could go over the film and like the Zapruder film and find out what happened to it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody cares enough to do that, but I do want my kicker feeling good.
So how about the catch by Donnie Cheers, one-handed grab in the back of the end zone? Man, if he doesn't come up with that, I don't know how that drive ends, but that was really big catch.
Great gear, real strong at reception point, but he was covered. It was a great ball, and just a great one-handed catch, toe tap in the end zone.
And not the only receiver that caught a touchdown. Calvin Gilbert, another one. He had 5 catches, 70 yards, and 26 of the 70 for Calvin Gilbert came after contact.
Yeah, no, the run after catch has been good. I think that speaks to a lot of accuracy. If you catch the ball awkwardly, sometimes you can't keep running. And so we're doing a good job with, we call it value of yard, just, getting the ball, getting vertical, then look to make moves.
Campagro was targeted 13 times in the game. He had 8 catches for 94 yards. Man, he just reminds me the old saying, he's 7-Eleven. He is always open. It just seems like defenders have a hard time covering Campagro.
Yeah, absolutely. He knows how to get open. Last year he had some drops in the middle of the field that was disappointing. In this game, I thought he took some hits after catch. So he showed progress in that area.
So it was 7 tackles for Stephen Lewis. Landon Sylvie, 7 more tackles. He went into that game, Coach, leading the OVC in tackles per game. Landon Sylvie. He's wrapping up a lot of guys for you this year.
Yeah, he's having a great year. I never want a safety leading the defense in tackles. That means the box is terrible. So we got to, get that off the film. But he's obviously doing a great job. He's just very instinctive. He's a good cover guy, too. He's what a DB you want. He can do all those things.
It was 10 tackles for loss, and you got a couple of those late when they had to go to their backup quarterback, who, by the way, that guy in high school was like nationally ranked. He was a really good high school player. I think he started at Troy as well, the lefty that ended up coming in for them. But it was 10 tackles for loss. You had 4 sacks in the football game and 8 quarterback hurries. You were affecting their quarterback.
Yeah, no, those guys did a really good job. I think schematically we kind of found ourselves in who we want to be and played a little tighter coverage, and I was going to bring more at the quarterback and stuff. So I think that was helpful, and just very disruptive. The best pass defense is a pass rush.
One of the guys who I hadn't said his name as far as I can remember, but Taj Sumi, Coach. We called his name several times. He had 1.5 tackles for loss. He finished with 4 tackles. We haven't talked about Taj Sumi. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, he was a transfer DB. He was a 3-year starter, captain, transferred in, but he had an ACL. So he had an ACL last fall, and he really wasn't quite healthy through summer. Got him in August. We've kind of moved him around several positions while he was still kind of getting back to his old self. And we probably should have played him the week before at UT Martin. So he was ready then, and we didn't get him in. But now we got him a good spot, and it's just great to see him go out there and make plays. He's put a lot of good film out there on tape, and so it was good to see that. And
I'm sure you got the word, but with his performance, Johnny Dirtbike is the OVC Freshman of the Week. So, around the league, people took notice of what this freshman did the first time he was able to get a start.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody did. That's not hard to pick up. I mean, really, really solid performance. I think what people don't understand is, quarterbacks win through other people. So if you're not very talented around a quarterback, man, it's really hard to play quarterback. But we got good running backs, we got good receivers, tight ends, O-line. So I think we gave him a good opportunity to perform well.
So you mentioned his fumble on the option play. There were 2 interceptions in the game, and if you break down those interceptions, one was a short pass in the right flat, right there for your receiver, just off of his hands, just happened to deflect to a Tennessee State defender. And the other interception, it looked like in the pocket, there was peril in the pocket, and he was trying to throw the ball away. It looked like to me to the sideline, his arm was hit, the ball probably went 25 feet in the air, and in a Division I game like that, it goes up 25 feet. Somebody's catching it when it comes down, and just happened to be Tennessee State. So you can make the argument kind of fluky interceptions. Not interceptions where you're like, what in the world was he doing?
No, but turnover margin is the number one thing we got to fix, and we still we're 4-3, so we got 3 takeaways, but we gave it up 4. But at least our defense was playing well. They only had 6 points off of turnovers. We had 7. So really, and that's the thing, points off takeaways. And so we got to continue to build skill there because the margins get smaller, and that game was at jeopardy in the third quarter, which it never should have been if we'd have took care of the football, not giving up a fake punt, those type of things, drop the punt, those type of things are why it, the game was closer longer than it should have been.
All right, so I'm sure there will be people that say, oh, that was odd that you had 2 punt returners back there. You had freshman Kylan Harris Norman along with the veteran Cam Pedro, who was returning punts in the UT Martin game after Cam Robinson got injured. And then, there were a couple of times where it was just Cam Pedro, and then a couple of times where you had 2 punt returners. There's a reason you did that.
Yeah, hindsight, maybe we shouldn't have. The reason we did it is because he's a really inconsistent punter. So kicks at variable depths and also left and right variable. And so, without a veteran guy back there, we just felt like if one guy had to cover less ground and move around to catch a ball, that we wouldn't turn it over. And, schematically he was there. It was just a fundamental lapse. And so, we've done 2 returners as long as I've been here. If we play 12 games, you're probably half games you're in 2 returners, half games you're in 1 returner.
All right. The penalties in the game, if the officials got paid by the flag, then they were all driving Lexuses home from Cape Girardeau, Missouri. You were flagged 11 times. They were flagged 10 times in the game. And that was something you talked about in the post game. It was going to be a rough practice because you were not happy about 11 penalties.
Just really disappointed. At the end of the day, there was totally avoidable penalties. We call them stupid penalties, play hard penalties. We didn't have a lot of play hard penalties. We had just a lot of stupid penalties, and just disappointing. And the players know it. Like, at the end of the day, what are you going to say? So we're just not going to play them. You don't get what you talk about. You get what you are willing to do. And, guys that make mistakes and hurt the team, we can't play them. Certainly personal fouls and stuff like that. It's just embarrassing. I mean, it's a reflection of my head coaching. I got to do a better job.
So as far as the football game for this Saturday, and we'll talk a little more about Eastern Illinois, that on homecoming week, there are probably at least the potential, I know coaches think about it, the potential for more distractions than a normal week of football, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of people in town. It's not a normal game week, and so we'll have to educate guys that, homecoming's awesome if you win, and so worry about all that stuff Saturday night, and so guys come back in, and we'll have to really educate them on Friday night, and but you also have to trust the team. It's not like all of a sudden you change and you have a 10 o'clock meeting just because you don't trust your guys. If they're going to make those decisions, then that's the kind of season we're going to have.
So you look around the league, and what turned out to be the game of the day in the OVC Big South was in Martin, Tennessee. And Western Illinois dropped a very competitive game to Eastern Illinois, who you will play on Saturday. And, man, they had UT Martin on the ropes. UT Martin was down by 11 points going into the fourth quarter. They outscored Western 12-0 in the fourth quarter. It looked like the Leathernecks were going to beat Martin, and then Western is lining up for a game-winning field goal to beat UT Martin, and Martin blocks the field goal, and they win by 1 point, 32-31. Couple of things, first of all, good teams make winning plays when they have to, and that's a winning play, obviously. And then secondly, this freshman quarterback they've got at Western Illinois looks like he's pretty good, and Western Illinois looks like an improved football team.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. Haven't seen him on tape. I've seen him a little bit against Eastern Illinois, but even last year they were able to move the ball on us pretty well.
Had a good quarterback last year.
And so I think defensively, if they got some answers, and it sounds like they're better, they're going to be a difficult opponent.
Boy, making plays on special teams, I know it's some other person's team, but kind of warms your heart, I'm sure. You're a special teams guy.
No, I mean, I'm a winning guy. I know you like to label me all these things, but okay, just call me a guy that's shallow enough that just likes to win, okay?
All right, Eastern Illinois will be in here. What I think is interesting with EIU is, they dropped their game to Gardner-Webb, who, by the way, is getting votes nationally in the top 25. It was 21-10. I think it was Eastern's homecoming game. They started one quarterback. He got pulled. I don't know if he got hurt. And then they mopped up with another quarterback. So I don't know if they know who's going to be their starting quarterback in the game, because their depth chart going into that game was listed this quarterback or this quarterback.
They've played two most of the season, and so one did get hurt and didn't come back in, so you just don't know what that'll look like. But both have played.
So the guy that started the game was Connor Wolf, who's a redshirt freshman. The guy who finished the game, Cole LaCrue, redshirt sophomore. So they're young at quarterback as you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And, but they've still played pretty good. Both of them have, and so they're kind of plug and play. Offensively, it doesn't seem to change much with who's in there. They got a pretty dominant X, got some size. They got a number 2's a slot who's got a gear, 3 quality.
C.J. Nelson, and he was there last year.
Yeah, and got some good running backs, and so it'll be a challenge. They are calling for some weather this weekend, and so we're looking at that too. Pretty heavy rain on Saturday, and so that could have an impact too.
So their top running back from last year, I guess, transferred to UConn. He was really good, talented freshman All-American. So they lose him to UConn, but that's kind of normal for the course. And I don't know if you knew Reggie Barlow, Tennessee State's head coach, prior to the game on Saturday, but he inherited a tough spot. That was a massive roster turnover when Eddie George ended up, going to Bowling Green.
Yep.
And this is a opportunity for you on Saturday to put a little winning streak together. He can climb over the 500 mark in conference play. And one thing you pointed out, go back over the last several years, whoever wins the OVC hasn't done it unscathed. They've got a loss or two.
Yeah, I think, hopefully at some point we can start talking about those type of things. But right now I don't think you deserve to talk about winning streaks and conference championships when you have 11 penalties. And several of them were a joke. I mean, people aren't going to take you serious, as they shouldn't. And so we got to just still try to just play better, play winning football, play smart football, and then let's see. If we can earn the right to start talking about that, earn the right to have Tennessee Tech be a big game, great. But it's a joke to have any of those kind of conversations until we play more respectable.
Well, one conversation that nobody wants to use as a storyline, unfortunately it is, for your team is injuries. And you told us after the game it was 10. You were down 10 starters in that game against Tennessee State. We were talking before the game. I wonder how many Division I teams, their 6th game of the year, were starting their 3rd-string quarterback, and not because of poor play, but because of injury. That was the case with you. It was 10 starters down. How did things go during the game itself? Did you suffer any more casualties?
No, we came out clean, but I'm hoping all of the non-executions and the penalties and all the things that are happening is because we just have a lot of guys that haven't played because of injuries, and now all of a sudden they're in there and we're having all these other things pop up. And so hopefully we can get on track. But, having 10 starters out when you watch the game, it still looks like a talented football team. So that's the nice thing. And now can we get them good at playing football? But it's just a different year, different times, I guess I should say, in college football. It's a lot more like the NFL. You just don't, it's hard to have depth because people want to start. If they lose the starting position, they hit the portal. And so it's just really hard. But when you look at it, then you better find a way to have depth. You got to recruit well. You got to use every single opportunity to develop depth. If you think, we're good, there it is. That's when you're going to have problems. You got to learn how to practice well and make sure we're not getting injuries in practice like the NFL does. But at the same time, you got to work at a pace to get players better, and sometimes that's live. And I'm still trying to figure all that out with all these new variables in the portal and stuff.
So we're going to be talking with linebacker Slade Dollar. He's been here since 2022, Coach. He just played in his 42nd game in a Red Hawk uniform on Saturday. Big interception, almost had 2. He's from Naples, Florida. I don't know how familiar you are with Naples, Florida. It is a nice area. I was stationed in the Navy in Key West, and my grandmother owned a condominium in South Fort Myers. That's maybe 30 minutes north of Naples. Very nice area down there. He has not been exposed to winters like he has since he came to Cape Girardeau. What can you tell us about Slade Dollar other than the fact that he's got a cool name for a football player, Slade Dollar?
Yeah. I recruited South Florida probably 15 years when I was an assistant. That was kind of my area.
So you're well familiar with Naples.
Yeah, and his dad was a D coordinator at Naples. I knew him very well. And so Slade out of high school has an interesting story. So he didn't play college football out of high school. He went to, I think it was West Georgia or maybe it was West Florida, and just was a student. And then his dad brought him up here, and I basically gave him an opportunity because I knew and trusted his dad. And, he came in and has earned playing time right away, and is playing at a really high level now. He backed up a couple really great inside linebackers.
Bryce Norman.
Yeah, and Malai. So set behind those guys a little bit, but the last 2 games he's done a great job. And he's just a great teammate. He's a great human. He's going to be super successful in life.
Well, we'll talk with the super teammate, Slade Dollar. He is going to join us when we come back. Stay tuned. John Klein, the Red Hawk women's soccer coach, is here, and we're going to be talking it over with him in his first season as a Division I coach, but he's got a long history of success in the game, not only in women's soccer, but also in men's soccer. That's a little bit later on. Slade Dollar going to join us here at the Coaches Show when we come back from Wings Etc. in Cape Girardeau on SEMO ESPN.
As a business owner, have you ever wondered how to show up on someone's stream of their favorite shows? Want to throw a net over the competition and catch relevant potential customers? Let us help. We're creative, ruthlessly efficient, and ready to set up your advertising game with digital options. Don't be scared of the future. Embrace it and use it to your advantage. Visit maxdigitaladvertising.com and get in touch with Tommy, a local rep ready to make a connection to help your business grow. That's maxdigitaladvertising.com. Let Max Digital maximize your advertising dollar with digital.
Does having a game on the TV make a sports bar? Wings Etc. in Cape and Jackson beg to differ. They take their sports bar status seriously. Wings Etc. is the host of the SEMO Coaches Show every Monday from noon to 1. You can watch SEMO away games at Wings Etc. Plus, get lunch specials and daily specials like 69-cent wings on Monday, 59-cent shrimp on Wednesday, 69-cent boneless wings on Thursday. Plus, they've got free Wi-Fi and a full-service bar and craft beer. Wings Etc. The definition of a sports bar.
Your business's local SEO health is more important than ever. That's how customers find you instead of your competition. Max Digital is the local digital marketing HQ and your expert to help your business achieve SEO excellence. If you need some help, request a free SEO consultation. We'll quickly pull an SEO report card for you and provide you with ideas to improve for free. To schedule, visit maxdigitaladvertising.com. Let Max Digital maximize your advertising dollar with digital.
Welcome back to the Red Hawks Coaches Show. We are at Wings Etc. in Cape, and it'll be a 2-week run here. We'll be back here in the Cape Girardeau location next Monday, so we hope that You make plans, join us for lunch. They've got daily half-pound lunch specials that start at just $9.99 here at Wings Etc. And make sure, if you are a Wings lover or you just plan on coming to Wings, download that Wings Etc. loyalty app. It'll just take you a minute. Set up your account. You're good to go. You get points for all of your orders, and that's whether you're eating here, anything that you order while you're here, or in Jackson or in the Dexter location. You get points added to your account, and you can have it delivered. They partner with DoorDash, and you can do all of that right through the Wings Etc. loyalty app. Let's talk with Redhawks linebacker Slade Dollar. He joins us on the Coaches Show. How are things?
Things are great. It's good to finally meet the person that I always hear on the ESPN Plus.
All right.
TV show.
Good to meet you. Now, did you order lunch? Did you eat before you came up here? You wait.
I get some food. As a linebacker, you're always eating. We burn, I think, more calories than you can count every game and every practice. So,
what was it like going from a high school diet to a Division I athletic diet where they've got people that are resources for you, and okay, here is what you need to do in terms of calorie intake and all of those things?
I just remember my first strength coach here telling us about you need to eat waffles and you need to eat peanut butter, and you can never get enough calories and stuff like that. So the strength coaches also, they supply us with so much protein and so much post-workout material that we can use to gain muscle, because you really can't be too strong on a football field, especially when you're running into 300, 340-pound guys. So,
what's it like to go up against guys of that size?
It was definitely a shock when I first got here. Like, there was some videos of me on the sideline as a freshman, and I'm walking next to our O-line, and I'm like, how are these guys? They're huge, and but then you get used to it. That's a part of, like, when you get older and you become more veteran, you realize these guys are too slow to touch you, and it's more important on being size and strength. And at the end of the day, you realize that they're too big to even put hands on you most of the time.
All right, so you have played in a lot of football games for the Redhawks. It was your 42nd game on Saturday, and that interception for you was your third career interception, if I've got that right. Tell us about that play and what goes through your mind after you finish off a play like that.
With it being a trick play, it was a little different than my other interceptions. And so with the trick play, ball's in the air, I didn't know how close he was and stuff. I'm like, just got to make sure I get the ball before he does. I'm jumping up there, grabbing the ball. And now watching the video, I didn't realize how far I fell to the ground there. So it was kind of a shock. I didn't even have time to celebrate, really. I was just glad that I caught it. And then I also was just grateful for that. The D-line, Cole Dukovich, that other linebacker who's with me, got pressure to make sure it wasn't too good of a ball thrown, and made me to be able to catch it as well there.
So, for those who didn't see it, the trick play was they got it. It was a lateral pass, so it was clearly a lateral. And from our angle in the press box, you could see it. And then he winded up. He's a left-handed thrower, underthrew the pass. Is that something that you had seen on film, or could you tell that it was going to be a trick play right away? Take us through your thought process when you saw everything start to materialize there.
Well, we knew that they like to try trick plays, reverses. They ran a reverse against North Dakota State, so we knew that they were going to try to get free points and try some trickery stuff. So we were very important on our eyes on the backside of plays for reverses and reverse passes and stuff like that. So I just made sure that even though my guy is going 20 yards away from where the ball is thrown, I got to keep eyes on him in case it is a trick play like that.
Man, the one time that you don't pay attention to your guy would be the time when so you're disciplined enough to take care of that. Now you had an opportunity to get a second interception. How about that?
Oh, those are the ones you think about in bed till like 2 a.m. the same night. And my family that was in town, my girlfriend that was in town, she told her mom who was at the game, don't bring it up to him because they all know it bothers me. It bothers me the most. No matter how many plays you make, that one that you miss, you'll be thinking about for the rest of the night. So.
Well, you have been here for 4 years, and, that's turning into a rarity now. I mean, guys are hopping in the portal or, switching schools. Now you paid your dues, and you got plenty of playing time, but, you weren't the starter. I mean, you're playing behind elite players. I mean, Bryce Norman, Malai Walton, I mean, those guys are really, really good football players. How much did you learn, not only talking to them, practicing with them, but watching them play?
I think we had the best inside linebacker room in the country my freshman, my sophomore, my junior year, just because of how much depth we had. And inside linebackers were all about being strong, staying healthy, and all of that. And so when those guys are in there in the elite shape, sometimes you're watching for most of the game behind them. And the thing is, you want to be behind them when they're getting coached up. And when they're getting coached up, you're learning from their mistakes because even though they're backside of a run, they still got to be ready for the RPO pass behind it and stuff like that. I would also meet and learn how to watch film with them as well. Christian Furman, he was a NIU leading tackler that transferred away from SEMO. Learning with him through the run fits, and then you learn from pass fits from Bryce Norman, who's at Mike. And so you kind of get the best of both worlds from learning with them. And then, as Coach Tuke said, our relationship was very strong for when I was recruited here. And after my freshman year, I told him as long as he stays here and doesn't go anywhere, I'm not going anywhere. And so that was definitely the main reason why was that relationship that we built. And I know that he took a chance on me, and I was able to become successful here. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without his opportunity. So why would I ever leave?
Slade Dollar is our guest, senior linebacker. So out of high school, you did not, as Coach Tuke documented, you did not go and play post-high school football right away. Did you think that was it? You were done playing football? And then how about the evolution of, hey, maybe I got a shot here to be a college football player?
So I went to West Florida out of high school, and I did have an academic scholarship there, and I wanted to walk on, trying on for the team, but they weren't going to be able to give me an opportunity. They wouldn't even let me to the team. They actually told me to become an equipment manager there for them, yeah. Which is kind of crazy to think about now. And then when I was in the summer and it was during the fall, I went to one of the West Florida football games. And I went there, I watched the opening kickoff, and I had to leave in the first quarter because I just missed it so much. You can't really watch football games from the stands once you're out there because it's just a different kind of feeling when you're out there on the field compared to being in the stands and stuff like that. I missed it so much, and that's why I just kept working out because I wanted to play football again.
Man, great decision.
Yes.
So you're from Naples. I'm familiar with Naples just from my years in the Navy down in Key West, and my grandmother living in, she had a condo in South Fort Myers, which I estimated was 30 miles from Naples. Is that about accurate?
Yes, it's very accurate. We actually would play South Fort Myers High School every year. We did win every single my year when I was there. So
now, was Deion Sanders from North Fort Myers?
No, I know South Fort Myers, they had Sammy Watkins, the wide receiver.
That went to Clemson.
Yep, and then he went to the NFL. So that's where Sammy Watkins was from. And then Malcolm Butler was another South Florida project from, so stuff like that. Still
remember that interception in the Super Bowl for Malcolm Butler, man. I mean, the Butler did it. What was it like growing up in Naples, man? I mean, did you even own a winter coat?
No. It's funny because this week is the game against EIU, and when I came to SEMO, I'd never played or practiced in below 60-degree weather. In my freshman year, we played at EIU, and the feels was -12. And I was bundled up. I had a hoodie on. And I guess we have a rule at SEMO where you don't wear, the hoodies underneath our football pads, with the hood out the back and stuff like that. And I didn't know that was a rule, so they made me take it off. I'm freezing on the sideline. There's also a thing with the heaters on the sideline. I had my football gloves, and I guess they're don't put your gloves too close to the heaters on the sideline. And so I'm like, what is that all about? Like, I didn't know if it would like burn the plastic. So I put the back of my hands and the back of my gloves all caught on fire and ripped holes in them and stuff like that. And it was a pretty terrible experience against EIU. We ended up winning that freshman year, but I was pretty scarred from cold weather games after that game.
Man, every time we play basketball at EIU, you never play a basketball game there and there's not snow on the ground. It is a cold place to go. All right, you guys win the game, and now you've got homecoming. You've been through a few of these homecoming games. Chance to get a little momentum going here on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Homecoming games are so important to SEMO, especially with the student turnout that's going to be there every year. With the student turnout, you got to win because they love the environment when we win, and it makes them come to more games, makes the environment even better, makes it harder to play at Houck and stuff like that. I love winning on homecoming as well, just because I always have so much family there, and all the players have so much family there, and it's when a family sees like a SEMO winning team, they see the environment, they want to stay at SEMO, they want to make sure that their kids stay there and enjoy more games at Houck and stuff like that.
So I know they got the airport in Fort Myers. Do you fly out of Fort Myers? Does Naples have its own airport? How are you?
Fort Myers has a really big airport that is awesome to fly to. I have a lot of flight miles. Like, I will say that, from flying from Cape Girardeau down to Fort Myers, and so
I would think that's a direct flight, right? Can you get one from Cape to Fort Myers?
It'll be Fort Myers, Chicago to Cape Girardeau.
Oh yeah, you always got to go through Chicago.
Yeah,
that's no good. Well, Slade, we appreciate catching up with you. Thanks so much, and stay healthy, man. I mean, you got to keep everybody healthy, and best of luck on homecoming. Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
All right, Slade Dollar, coolest name in the OVC for a football player. John Klein is the new women's soccer coach at SEMO, and he is going to join us when we come back. Don't forget, that's a 2 o'clock kickoff Saturday for the homecoming game. Back to talk with Coach John Klein when we return. It's the Redhawks Coaches Show from Wings Etc.
As a business owner, have you ever wondered how to show up on someone's stream of their favorite shows? Want to throw a net over the competition and catch relevant potential customers? Let us help. We're creative, ruthlessly efficient, and ready to set up your advertising game with digital options. Don't be scared of the future. Embrace it and use it to your advantage. Visit maxdigitaladvertising.com and get in touch with Tommy, a local rep ready to make a connection to help your business grow. That's maxdigitaladvertising.com. Let Max Digital maximize your advertising dollar with digital.
Does having a game on the TV make a sports bar? Wings Etc. in Cape and Jackson beg to differ. They take their sports bar status seriously. Wings Etc. is the host of the SEMO Coaches Show every Monday from noon to 1. You can watch SEMO away games at Wings Etc. Plus, get lunch specials and daily specials like 69-cent wings on Monday, 59-cent shrimp on Wednesday, 69-cent boneless wings on Thursday. Plus, they've got free Wi-Fi and a full-service bar and craft beer. Wings Etc., the definition of a sports bar.
Your business's local SEO health is more important than ever. That's how customers find you instead of your competition. Max Digital is the local digital marketing HQ and your expert to help your business achieve SEO excellence. If you need some help, request a free SEO consultation. We'll quickly pull an SEO report card for you and provide you with ideas to improve for free. To schedule, visit maxdigitaladvertising.com. Let Max Digital maximize your advertising dollar with digital.
Back, Redhawks Coaches Show from Wings Etc. in Cape. Appreciate Coach Tuke for joining us, and Slade Dollar. Now we're going to talk some SEMO women's soccer with John Klein in his first season as the Redhawks soccer coach. How are things, Coach? I know you just had your 2-game winning streak snapped. It looked like a heck of an effort against the team that is right now number 1 in the league, Eastern Illinois.
Yeah, it was really a tough one. I struggled last night. I was a little bit bummed out, but the girls put on a great performance yesterday. First half, I was really believing, and really believing that we had a chance to win this conference. For 45 minutes, they peppered them and really wouldn't allow them out of their half, and just didn't find the goal. And they lifted their level a little bit. Eastern did in the second half, and once again, we're very late in the game. I think 7 minutes left, they found the goal. So you mentioned earlier, good teams find ways to make big plays, and they scored the goal late and we didn't. So, but really proud of the effort, and for a team that's 2-11-1 or 2-12-1, I'm pretty proud of the group and the performance, and feeling good about these final 3 games in the season.
Well, the good news is that the 2 wins came in conference play. So you've got a couple of conference victories under your belt. Have you ever dealt with as many injuries as you've faced since you came to SEMO? I mean, how many different goaltenders have you played this year?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen anything like this injury-wise, but you know what? We're pretty healthy right now, and Maddie's doing a great job in goal right now, and we have some depth, and so we're really feeling good about ourselves and about the run we can possibly make here, getting to the conference tournament and maybe in postseason. So we're hoping to surprise a few teams, but injury-wise, I think we've made it through there. We've survived, and kind of looking forward to this next stretch.
Boy, it's frustrating when you're going through it, though, before you get some of these injured players back, right?
It's really difficult. I mean, like you said, we played 5 games without a real goalkeeper, so we're having to try different, pretty strong athletes in goal who can step up and do that, and that kept us from building our system and fitting those individuals into the spaces they really needed to be in. So it set us back and it held us back, but like I said, we're past that, and I think over the last 5 games we've settled into a system, and the girls are buying in, and we're starting to play the kind of soccer that I'd like to see played over at Houck Stadium.
Boy, it's been a successful system in your career at Columbia College. Now, one of the first things I asked you, James Arnold, he was here as an assistant women's basketball coach, just a fabulous guy, and he is at Columbia, and I guess he's had multiple roles since he's been there, including athletic director, right?
Well, he is, yeah, and yeah, I guess he's vice president of the school now. So, he started over there. He was basketball coach, and then he took on an administrative role. And, now he's kind of, a big man over there at the college. But James is awesome, and he was very integral, actually, in helping me identify this opportunity and helping it come to fruition. But he was first one to text me the other day after our second win, and, he's happy to see our success. It's interesting, after wins, I've received 50 or 60 texts. Then we lost again yesterday. I have no friends again.
Man, what happened to my phone? Is this on?
So it's interesting, but everybody's following, everybody's supportive, and they're rooting for us, and looking forward to this next stretch. But James is awesome. Yeah, I love James.
All right, John Klein. Now, it's over 25 years as a head soccer coach, and a lot of that is a men's soccer coach. 343 wins coaching the men. What's the difference between coaching men and coaching women?
Honestly, I coach the same way. It doesn't matter if they're 6-year-old girls or 25-year-old guys or 19 to 22-year-old ladies that I'm coaching right now. We're going to push them. We're going to ask them to dig in deep and find more than they think they have. And I would say over the years, 13 years ago, 14 years ago, I did get the opportunity to start the women's program at Columbia, and then I coached both.
How difficult is that?
Actually, we kind of had a system there. That program was kind of on autopilot. I really enjoyed it. I liked being on the field for 4 hours, kept me out of the office. I spent a lot more time in the office here, and everybody here in the administration gives me a lot more administrative work than I used to have to do at Columbia. But it's good. I enjoy it, and no, I just love being on the field. And even at 0-10, I was loving every minute on the field with the ladies and just trying to solve the mystery. And I think we're making progress.
Boy, and some deep runs, 13 NAIA National Tournament berths, 3 Elite Eights, 3 Final Fours. What was that like, making runs like that on the national scene?
Those are fun runs. I mean, those are fun years and a lot of great memories. And, when I look back at that, I mean, that was always the goal at Columbia, was to get to the national tournament and ultimately win a national tournament. Never was fortunate enough to win a national tournament. Like you said, 3 Final Fours, and our ladies went to a Final Four most recently, and that was a spectacular team. And but the goals are just slightly different here. I think we always have to start, even over 25 years, about becoming the best in the conference. And that's what we did at Columbia, and then that would set the stage, and you just build on that. And then we started to consistently compete for national tournaments. Ideally, that's what we like to do here at SEMO. And honestly, yesterday when we set foot on the field, I thought we had a chance at winning this conference, and that's what we want to do year in and year out, is compete for the OVC title. And if we can't win the conference regular season this year, then we're going to set our sights on the conference tournament and see if we can't get to a national tournament in the first year.
What did it say to you that now that you're getting healthy and can put the team you thought you were going to have on the field, you play the number 1 team in the league, and up until the 82nd minute, it is a scoreless game? I mean, you gave them everything that they wanted. Does that build a little confidence in some of your players? Hey, we can play with anybody in this league, and if we make the tournament, anybody can win that thing.
Well, I want them to believe that. I mean, certainly there's no moral victories. 1-0 is disappointing, and we talked about it. You have to score a goal. But I told the girls, I mean, the best team didn't win the soccer game yesterday. We literally were the best soccer team there. And I'll go to my grave saying that. The soccer was outstanding in the first half. And if we can play that kind of soccer, and that's what we talked about at halftime, that soccer can win this conference and can win this conference tournament. So that's what they've done for the last 4 or 5 games. We're starting to get consistent with our performance, and we're going to move forward, and I hope that hurts. That loss yesterday, I told them it hurts me. I want it to hurt you, and I want you to dig in deeper, and let's believe over these next 3 weeks.
So it was obviously a soccer family in your household. Your son not only played at St. Louis University, which is an elite soccer program, but is now a professional soccer player.
Yeah, it's fun to follow him. He had a great opportunity right after he got to play 5 years at St. Louis University. He got a COVID season, and they were great to him. He had a great career at St. Louis U, and then he was real fortunate to get drafted in the MLS by St. Louis City in their first year. And he had a great run. There was a stretch there where he started 6 or 7 straight games, and he'd text Julie, my wife, and me, and he knew that he was going to start a match, and we'd jump in the car and drive to Denver, drive to Dallas, fly to Seattle, and he made a great run. And then they let him go at the end of the year, and he went to the USL, which is the second league. And he started out in Charleston, and then he was traded this year out to Monterey Bay, and he's really enjoying it out there. So he went from one coast to the next coast.
I was going to say, it's East Coast to West Coast.
Yeah, wherever there's a golf course, Johnny will go. So.
And you said he is not far away from one of the more famous golf courses in this country.
Right, at Pebble Beach. He's gone over there multiple times. That's one of his stops. He hasn't played there yet. I think I'll have to make a trip out there, and we'll have to put that on our schedule. But he's getting around. He's playing some great courses. It's really a beautiful area. I've got some family out there. He's met up with them, so I think he's enjoying it, and I think he's going to settle in there for another year or two.
You got time to squeeze in any golf? Are you a golfer?
I love to golf. I haven't had much time here to do it yet. You know, I'm so focused on soccer, and it's constantly on my mind. But no, we're you know, Johnny and I love to play a little bit, and you know, there's some nice courses around here. I need to get out and hit a few of them a little bit more. All
right, I think you're in 6th place in the league. You go to 7th place, SIU Edwardsville on Thursday. That's a late game, 7:30 in Edwardsville. You've got just 3 regular season matches left.
3 regular season matches means 9 points available. I mean, ideally, if we look at 3 wins, I think you know, we could potentially be a 3 or 4 seed in the tournament. I think it takes 3 wins. I didn't look at the results yesterday. You just informed me of that. But if we could find a way to host, I think that would be awesome. If not, we're happy to travel and be involved in postseason play. But right now, that's our goal. Go to SIU, find a way to win a game, host a homecoming game and a senior day next Sunday, and then travel to Moorhead the final Sunday, and see if we can't sneak away with a host bid for our conference tournament.
Coach Palmer's back there. She can tell you about that bus trip to Moorhead, Kentucky. You don't have to go to Cookeville, Tennessee Tech, but you will have to drive to Moorhead, Kentucky. That is a long bus ride. How long were the bus rides in Columbia?
I mean, generally, you know, we were very central in the state. Traveled to Kansas City, traveled to St. Louis, a few conference teams in Arkansas. You know, 5-6 hours at the very most.
Yeah, this one's closer to 7 hours to go to Moorhead, Kentucky. It's a different breed of cat over in Moorhead, Kentucky. All right, in your time in Cape Girardeau, I'm guessing everybody has been very welcoming. And man, you know, you're only the 2nd coach in the history of the program. Heather Nelson was here when the program was founded. Have you had a chance to kind of pick Coach Nelson's brain prior to taking over the head coaching duties here?
You know, she was awesome to me. We brought Columbia down here a couple of years in a row, and you know, she just kept inviting us back. And then you know, even last year when we made the run over at Columbia for, you know, to get to the Final Four, she was messaging me and wishing me well. And, you know, so I haven't seen her a lot. We just started recently to see her. I think she'd been in Canada for a lot of the summer, and but she made it to the game at Western Illinois, and I think she's made a home game or 2. And we got to visit a little bit, and she's really supportive, and her daughter Justy's just been spectacular for us this year, and so supportive, and you know, really made my life enjoyable and easy. She's a great leader for our group, and really looking forward to Justy to carry this group through for these next 3 matches.
All right, 3 matches beginning on Thursday night at Edwardsville, and the final home match will be Sunday against Tennessee Tech. That will be senior day, and hopefully we'll have a nice crowd on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, the crowds have been terrific. You know, the marketing team does a great job. I think it was the Greek Society that was in yesterday, and there was a lot of noise back there. So hopefully we can get another big group. It really will be a big match, and it'll be a special day for the 6 seniors.
Coach, appreciate you squeezing us in. A pleasure to meet you. Best of luck for the rest of the season now that you're getting healthier, and best of luck for a deep run in the tournament.
Thanks so much, Eric.
All right, that is John Klein, the head women's soccer coach at Southeast Missouri State, and that is going to do it for us. Don't forget, it will be a Sunday match for the Redhawks soccer team. That is a 1 o'clock first kick at Houck Stadium. It will be a 2 o'clock kickoff Saturday for the football team and their homecoming showdown with the Eastern Illinois Panthers. Thanks to Slade Dollar, Coach Tuke, and Coach Klein. Thanks also to Tommy and Dylan and Rachel Cook here courtside, as we like to say, at Wings, etc. Stay tuned. We'll get you back to regular programming. The Rich Eisen Show coming up on ESPN. Enjoy your Monday, everybody. So long from Wings, etc.